Hiya, I'm Beth, and I'm really sorry I can't be with you at the moment. This is because I have other things to do at lunchtime on a Friday. But this is my presentation on Gander Green Community Fridge, which has become Community Hub Sutton. So you get an idea of what we've been doing over the last few months, but also perhaps what we're going to do in the future. So I'm just going to share my screen so you've got some photos to look at and not just my face. Here we go. So this is the Community Fridge, which has been going now for a whole year. So most of you will have heard about it at least a couple of times. It's on Gander Green Lane, which is in West Sutton, opposite West Sutton Station and Sutton United Football Club. And it was a space created by the community for the community, which provided fruit and veg, fridge, freezer, pantry, school uniform, baby clothes, and also some toiletries. And a lot of people came in just for tea and coffee, as well as to donate or to take. And of course, we've always provided a chat. The reason the community fridge was set up was in understanding that there was a growing issue of financial problems within the local community, that people were beginning to struggle and yet were finding it difficult to access the help they needed, particularly locally. There was nothing in West Sutton that we could find. And so we wanted to find a way to make healthy food accessible to local people through a local food sharing scheme. So that was our original mission when we set up. And of course, as all these things do, kind of grow beyond that, which was fantastic. We are lots of people working together with lots of different organisations, try and work out what the people of West Sutton need and want, and also provide a space for that. So these are some of the organisations which have been involved. And here we have a quote from somebody I will call anonymous, but is a user of the fridge. And she says, I used the fridge for a few months when I was struggling. I got food for me and for my child. It was good to have somewhere to go when it was rainy, to get a drink and meet people. And those relationships are really important for people's health and well-being. One of the major things that has happened is that we've moved to St Albans Church, mainly for financial reasons, to reduce the rent costs, but also because I'm the vicar of that, so therefore can provide it for free. If you look in this photo with the cars on it, up right there is where the old community fridge was, so we're only a couple of minutes walk away. And we are on the corner of Elmbrook Road. So here's Gander Green Lane, and then down here is Elmbrook Road. So we were very close to where we originally started. And this is the entrance, so anybody can walk through there. Those doors are usually open. And a sign on there, just in case they think it's shut, that we are open and anyone is welcome to come in. St Albans, in case you have never been inside, I do recommend it, because although it was only built in the 1930s, the wood in the roof and the beams are a few hundred years old, from the time of Queen Elizabeth or even Henry VIII. This was its setup for our coronation tea party. And St Albans is all about food, friendship, fellowship, and yet more food. So it's quite a good place for a community fridge to be. And this is where it's currently housed, on a couple of tables at the back of church and this coat rail. We've got lots of donations. I've got loads more under the tables and various other places around the church. So when people come in with their donations, we take them willingly and hide them away after checking the dates until we have to restock. We are restocking that table about once a week at the moment. So demand is quite high. And that's our school uniform. We've got loads more school uniform, which we put out on an additional table whenever parents come in. So it's all available to them. And of course, the children's coats were very welcome over winter. They perhaps less so going forward, hopefully, if the weather improves. But that table is only temporary, because in the short to medium term, we are going to be moving into a shed which will be built on this patch here down the side of the church. This is so that it's more noticeable and more flexible and more open to the community. So this is our plans. Hopefully within a few months, that shed will be up and running and built and already being used. We're also using the kitchen in the church, not only for the fridge, for our various fridge donations, but because it is set up as a family kitchen or a domestic kitchen with our 5 food hygiene rating, which we're very proud of, it means that we can do this. So Orchard Hill bring some of their students and staff along each week, and the food that we've received from Sainsbury's the previous night is then made into soups, vegetarian soups, for people who visit the fridge or for people who just pop in and want a bit of friendship and fellowship. They can come in with, we put the soup in little pots like this so that they can either eat them there and then or take them away and eat at home. And this, the children, well, should I say young people, are all people with learning difficulties. And so this really helps them get used to a family or domestic kitchen that they will be using when they move into their own flats. So it's a really important education for them. And it's great that we're able to host them and provide the food for them to do that. So what next? Well, I wonder where you would see it going next. We're hoping to perhaps branch out into new locations, or perhaps to start up new projects which would really build up on the friendship and fellowship to support people's health and well-being in West Sutton, an area which is so often forgotten about because the people there aren't always noticeably struggling, and yet perhaps they need a little bit more attention sometimes. So I hope that has answered some of your questions. You've probably got more questions. Unfortunately, I'm not there to answer them, but I hope that this has been informative for you. Thank you very much.